We're always trying to find that edge for students, that one thing that can help them succeed in the classroom. But what if one of the most powerful tools out there is something we totally overlook every single day? Today, we're diving into why hydration isn't just a health tip, it's an absolute game changer for learning. I mean, just think about that for a second. We're not talking about a kid who just ran a race in the heat. We're talking about mild dehydration, something that can happen so easily. And it's enough to directly mess with how well a student can pay attention and remember what they're being taught. That's huge. And this is exactly why dehydration is such a sneaky problem in our schools. Its effects can be really subtle, but they add up. It quietly chips away at everything from a student's basic brain function to how much energy they have on the playground. So what does that actually look like? Well, a student might seem kind of sluggish or have a really hard time staying on task. Maybe they're just not as into joining games at recess. It's so easy to just write these things off, but a lot of the time, the real problem is simple. They just haven't had enough water.
Okay, so if the signs are so easy to miss, what should we actually be on the lookout for? If we know the telltale signs, we can catch this problem before it really starts to affect their day.
Here are the big ones to watch for. Headaches are a classic sign. So are dry lips. That general feeling of low energy, just being kind of blah. And of course, that familiar struggle with concentrating. See, they're all common symptoms that could easily be mistaken for something else, like a bad night's sleep. And here's the real kicker. Kids, especially the younger ones, they're not always tuned in to what their bodies are telling them. They're just busy being kids, playing and learning. By the time they actually feel thirsty, they're often already on their way to being dehydrated. So the obvious question is, what's the best thing for them to drink? It's so easy to reach for a juice box or a soda, but here's the thing. All that sugar can actually get in the way of proper hydration. When it comes right down to it, plain old water is the simplest and by far the most effective choice. Hands down. Which brings us right to the solution. And the best part is, it's not complicated, it's not expensive. The simple answer to this whole hidden problem is just water. So, how much are we talking about really? Well, a good rule of thumb for most school-aged kids is about 6 to 8 glasses a day. It's a clear, simple target that can make a massive difference. And it's really important to remember that this is just a baseline. If a kid is running around, playing sports, or it's a super hot day, they're definitely going to need more. All right, so how do we make this actually happen without turning it into a battle? Well, it all comes down to building a few really simple daily habits. Here are 3 tips that are absolute game changers. First, get them a water bottle they like and have them carry it everywhere. Just having it there, visible and easy to grab, is half the battle. Second, encourage taking small, regular sips all day long instead of trying to chug a bunch at once. And third, teach them to drink before they feel thirsty. Really drive home that idea that thirst is a late signal from your body. When you get right down to it, these little, consistent habits add up in a big way. They lead to better energy, much sharper focus in class, and just better health all around. It's such a simple investment with a huge payoff. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. It doesn't matter if you're a parent, a teacher, or just someone who cares about kids. What's one small change you can make, starting today, to help a student in your life stay hydrated and really be ready to thrive? Thanks for tuning in.